I started the lecture. Let me start with a prayer. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Para-Brahman Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Para-Brahman Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Para-Brahman Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna Namaste. So, welcome. Some of you are new. Jose ji, Karen ji, you are new to this group. Thanks for coming. And you will know the nature of how I deal. Jose ji has attended some of my Hindu university classes. So you will know the style and the focus of this class. And I will give you an introduction very soon, right away, I should say. So the way we are going to study Kena-Upaniṣad is, see, in the university, I will have to come up with a lot of PowerPoint presentations, summarizations, and things like that. That is hard. It takes hours and hours of preparation for me, but that makes it easier for the Hindu university classes. This I am doing that is why I named this group Upanishad Study Group. That means we study together. That's all. And I'm just studying it for a long time. I thought I would share my experiences with you, my knowledge with you. So it is a study group and not exactly a lecture group. That's one thing. Second thing is, for the new people, don't have the impression, looking at the marks on my forehead, that I will be only supporting Viśiṣṭādvaita or Rāmānuja Sampradaya because I have the marks of Rāmānuja Sampradaya on my forehead. That doesn't mean anything. My teachers asked me to study all different Vedanta traditions sincerely, exactly the way the Acharyas express themselves. So I will be doing a sincere study of all different views and will not try to put down any view, because my Acharyas, my teachers have come up with this solution after spending 80, 90, 100 years, saying that these three systems, Advaita, Dvaita, and Viśiṣṭādvaita, can be reconciled. Can be reconciled. But the reconciliation has to come to you eventually, right? It's not going to come to you immediately. And what we are now doing is, we are going to study the Upanishads as it is, starting from Śaṅkara Bhāṣya, then we will go to Rāmānuja Bhāṣya, then we will go to Madhva Bhāṣya, in this order, as it was chronologically available to us, right? This is how history has given us the types of different commentaries. So we will try to go in that order. People who have listened to me earlier know how sincerely I try to represent each Acharya. However, any person in this world is born to a family, right? I'm also born to a particular family. So here and there, I might have a different orientation. That is natural. If you find it uncomfortable, or if you find mistakes in my way of presentation, please challenge me. I'm here to learn, just like all of you. So challenge me openly, and I have a number of good acharyas, teachers. For example, watch the channel on Telegram channel. I have suggested some study materials. And one of my close friends, V. Subramanian, who is an Advaita expert, has connections to the best Advaita scholars of today, like Dr. Mani Dravid Shastri. His lectures are also presented here. I mean, I sent you a link for it. And I sent a link for Paramarthananda's explanations in a form of a book. Right? That also you can download. That is in English. But Mani Dravid Shastri's explanations are in Tamil. And unfortunately, the audio is very bad. If some of you might have good understanding of how to take the noise out of the audio and represent it. If you can do it, please send me the cleaned up audio files. It's great. I can understand Tamil, but some of you who can understand Tamil can make use of that audio file. I am not an expert. Swami Paramarthananda and Swami Mani Dravid Shastri and all those people are great experts. In fact, they're probably among the living people, they are one of the best experts of Advaita and things like that. So I am also learning from the knowledgeable people and delivering it to you. One may ask, why am I teaching Śaṅkara Bhāṣya now? Why don't we take Kena-Upaniṣad just as the original verses and try to explain the original verses? Honestly, I don't have the background to do that. I don't know the Sanskrit, the Vedic Sanskrit, as well as these acharyas do. Just to tell you, just to give you an introduction, this Upanishad was there a long time back, before the acharyas were born. These Upanishads are expressions, revelations of great Ṛṣis. And these Ṛṣis went to the fourth state called the Turiya Avastha, beyond the three stages, sleep, dream, and wake stages. And they went beyond and tried to understand direct reality with actual experience, unperturbed, unmixed with personal emotions. They went to that state, pure state, realized it, and expressed their realizations to us in the form of Vedas and Upanishads. So directly studying Vedas and Upanishads using the Vedangas or the supporting texts like grammar, chandas and all those things, it's a very hard process. Thousands of years ago, probably they did it that way. Today, I don't have the capability to do that. I'm just following the text and commentaries which I know. And so the way we are going to do is we try to do without any sectarian bias, sincerely understand this text. And we are starting with Śaṅkara Bhāṣya. Any questions so far? Unmute yourself if you want to ask a question. Unmute yourself, please.
As we go on, we'll ask you. Now it's clear. For me, at least, everything is clear.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Now,
sorry, Guru Krishna, would you be able to, sorry, I don't know, would you be able to, sorry, I don't want to keep asking because I'm unfamiliar with all the words and I need to do a lot of work, but could you just, going back to the three systems, I just wondered if you could spell or tell me of a result, the three systems on you're referring to your three marks on your, you mentioned that you could just spell the three names, that's all.
Yeah, see, the thing is, the three systems are known as Advaita, Viśiṣṭādvaita, and Dvaita. Okay, as somebody can text you or put it in. Don't let me do everything. Just put it in Advaita, Dvaita, and Viśiṣṭādvaita in the chat box. You will know what that means.
Great, thank you.
Another thing is, Karanji, you don't have to worry too much. Fortunately, we have recorded an overview of these three systems in my Bhagavad Gita class. And they are exactly copies of the Hindu University lectures I gave. And you can go look into the three systems there. It starts from chapter 78, lecture 78. And someone here can send you in the group information about those lectures and links. You can understand the details of all these three systems in those lectures. There are more than that, actually. Okay. Now, all right. Then now we will start with Kena-Upaniṣad. Okay, one more thing. Just for those you who don't know, see, I will not be using PowerPoint unless I have extra time and I can summarize and put it in PowerPoint. In case I need to do that, I will do that. But most of the time, I will be actually reading from the Upanishad Bhāṣyas. Here, I would, some of you may not know the languages. You may not be comfortable even with Sanskrit. So this is a hard thing. You might be watching something in the screen which is gibberish, but listen to my words, listen to speech. I will speak in English and I will be reading from something which you may not even understand what it is. But if you listen to my lectures, I will explain pretty much every concept. And if you don't understand, ask a question at a particular point after I'm done, or a little bit later, something. Make notes of your question so that when you get a time to ask questions, then ask. So you should make notes of everything while listening. So I will be using my screen for my own purpose, for me to know the sequence. I may be using Kannada versions, which is a different language, or Sanskrit versions. What I would tell you is, I will show you in the beginning which are the Sanskrit versions, and they are from the advaitasharada.net. I already put it on my Upanishad channel. The advaitasharada.net has got the original Sanskrit text. I'll show that to you just in case. Let me see if I have it open somewhere. Let me get here, please. Yeah, still don't know where it is. Can you see my screen? Yeah. See, this is the advaitasharada.sringeri.net. And here, the original scriptures and Śaṅkara Bhāṣya is given in a very nice way. There's only originals, they're all in Sanskrit. Okay. Sometimes I may refer to this. Just to give you an introduction here, this is Kena-Upaniṣad. So in the Upanishad, if you go there, this is Kena-Upaniṣad. You can see that, right? You can see my arrow. Yeah. So in Kena-Upaniṣad, the next connectivity line shows two explanations. Śaṅkara Pada Bhāṣyam, Śaṅkara Vakya Bhāṣyam. There are two commentaries written by Śaṅkarācārya on Kena-Upaniṣad. I will be using probably both of them or one of them. And there are some many people, even according to the teachers, they don't know why Śaṅkarācārya wrote two different commentaries, number one. Maybe the second one, Śaṅkara Vakya Bhāṣyam, has got a lot of logic, which he cites from the Brahma Sutras and things like that to support his views. But unfortunately, there are some contradictions between minor contradictions, just one or two verses. The information given in the first commentary, Śaṅkara Pada Bhāṣya, is different from the information given in the Śaṅkara Vakya Bhāṣya. So the small differences are there. This is well known to even Advaitis. I am directly giving information from the Advaitic people. If you're not talking, please mute yourself because there is some background. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's some background noise somewhere. Please mute yourself. Oh, here. I muted somebody. Just make sure you are muted. If you want to ask questions, unmute yourself and ask questions. Okay. So we will try to get information from both these sources, but for most part, what I'm doing is I will follow. If you know Kannada, I'm following Sachidanandendra Swami's works. I will tell you where it is. I'm going to stop share and show you a different work. I guess you can see my screen here. This is, one second, I'll come to the top. This is Śaṅkara Pada Bhāṣya Sameta. This is in Kannada, Kena-Upaniṣad, which is from Advaita, Advaita Sharada. Let me see if I have that. Hold on a second. Stop sharing. There is another. Hold on.
Adhyatma Prakash Karyalaya.
Yeah, correct. I wanted to look at the website. I don't even know where I put it. Okay, I might find it. I'm going to show this website to you just in case, if you don't know. Where did it go? I think this is one. Okay. You can look at this. It is adhyatmaprakasha.org. There are some English books. There are some Sanskrit books, Kannada books. This is a wonderful source of information about Advaita and Śaṅkarācārya's works. I use this website for probably, I've been using it for last 30, 40 years or more. So this is a very nice place to go and figure out what you want, okay? Just for information. Now we'll come back to Kena-Upaniṣad. I'm using the Kannada version, but you're welcome to download the Sanskrit version. If you go to the other site, you will get the Sanskrit version. And even the original Upanishad also you can download. That you will get the original Upanishad. And the Śaṅkara Bhāṣya also you can download. Or you may not be able to download, but you may be able to see it on your screen somewhere. So you can follow what I'm saying. But I'm using this Kannada version for a particular reason. This Kannada version has got footnotes. If you look at this, every page has a footnote. And this footnote has a lot of information. And another point I want to bring you is I'm studying this and teaching you. When I study, I go through the footnotes, and sometimes I get very interested in the details, and I study the footnotes and go to a different. So while explaining the Kena-Upaniṣad, Śaṅkarācārya refers to his own Bhāṣya or his own citations, references from other Upanishads. So it's like Upanishads are like a interconnected network of information. So it will be nice to know what is there in the other Upanishad, because one Upanishad, Kena-Upaniṣad, for example, does not have more than 2 or 3 pages of the original. There are only 4 sections, and it is very short. So if you look at the original Sanskrit text of the Kena-Upaniṣad, it's probably 2 pages or 3 pages. That's it. But when it comes to the commentaries, they're larger. And in the commentary, if some information is given in the Kena-Upaniṣad, the commentator, Śaṅkarācārya particularly, he refers to Brihadaranyaka Upanishad or Mundaka Upanishad or any other Upanishads. So we will look at the footnotes. That is why I'm using this version. Is that all right? Any problems with this approach? Very good. I would say next time. Today I didn't have time to put everything on the site. This is the first lecture on this. So what I would say is try to download and also try to print out these books and references somewhere, so that when you want to follow, you can easily mark it on your piece of paper, your questions or comments or something like that. When you write down while listening, you will get a lot more out of these classes. So just giving you advance notice, those who are really interested, please download and get prepared. Okay, now we'll start with the Śaṅkara Bhāṣya, and I'm just going to read and then explain to you what Śaṅkara Bhāṣya is. You might ask, why am I not able to give you the summary of Kena-Upaniṣad right away? It's hard. The summary comes later. Everybody needs an executive summary at the beginning of a document. And unfortunately, executive summary is difficult to write. Most people who have written executive summaries go through the details of the whole text and summarize it in 2 paragraphs or something. Let us write the executive summary when I find out the executive summary at the end of these lectures. Okay? So we'll just go through line by line the thoughts of the commentator. Keneshitam ityadya Upanishat Para-Brahma Vishaya Vaktavya iti navamasya adhyayasya arambaha. I will explain to you in English. This Keneshita is the starting sentence of the Kena-Upaniṣad. So the first sentence of the Kena-Upaniṣad starts, but you have to remember that this is about Para-Brahma, or the ultimate truth, ultimate reality, ultimate, final, powerful, the most important person in this universe, person or entity in this universe. But that is the subject. But it is in the 9th chapter of the Tālakāra Brāhmaṇa. Tālakāra Brāhmaṇa is again a portion in the Vedas. So the Vedas have different. I have explained this concept of parts of the Vedas in my introductory lectures. Go to lecture 78. Start from lecture 78 on my Bhagavad Gita list of lectures. There I have summarized how the Hindu thought came across. There were 14 sources of information in Hindu thought: Upanishads, the Vedas, Vedangas, and different things. Okay, go there and you will find out that Brahmana portions are portions of the Vedas, and the Brahmana portions refer more to the karma kanda, or activities. What are the activities? The activities you do to get value out of your life here in this on earth and beyond, after death. So all these activities are prescribed. They are not the karma kanda. And in the karma kanda, after all that explanation, now the topic of discussion is Brahma, or the ultimate reality. So to give an introduction to the ultimate reality, this Kena-Upaniṣad is there. And Kena-Upaniṣad subject or topic is the ultimate reality known as Para-Brahma. I'm using Sanskrit terms because you will get used to Sanskrit terms eventually after 4 or 5 classes. Then it will be easier, because English explanations of Sanskrit terms are many times erroneous. vaktavya iti navamasya adhyayasya arambhaha. So in the 9th chapter, by the way, in the 9th chapter of the Vedas are not even available now. The Brāhmaṇa portion of the Vedas are lost. The Tālakāra Brāhmaṇa, that portion of the Vedas are lost. So only few portions of the Vedas are available. Very unfortunate. That is because the modern life and so many things which have happened in the last few thousand years, somehow people have lost that information. But we are trying to pick up information given by our acharyas using what they are teaching. Prāgetasmāt, next sentence. Prāgetasmāt karmani sheshataha parisamapitani. Before this Kena-Upaniṣad, the information about activities, karmas, were already said. Samasta karmashraya bhutasya cha pranasya upāsanā ani uktani karmanga samavishayani cha. This needs some explanation. So the thing is, all the activities are concentrated, or it depends upon prana. What is prana? Prana means our breath in a way. In the Indian, in yoga and the Indian text, we talk about 5 breaths: prana, apana, udana, samana, vyana. These are 5 breaths in our bodies. Even in the Chinese context, there may be similar views in the Chinese medical and other kind of traditions. So mainly for to just get a simple idea, think that it is the breath for now. But prana is more than the breath. Here, prana can even mean the ultimate reality. So Sanskrit is very flexible. So we need to understand that. So all activities depend on our life force. Take prana as a life force for now. Our life force is very important. What happens when a person dies? People go and try to hold the finger near the nose and see whether the guy is breathing. If he's not breathing, then you say, the prana is gone. He is dead. So in Sanskrit and in Indian languages, they use the term prana. He lost his prana. That means the breath is gone. He is dead. So what happened is, in the Vedic context, in the Vedas, people were trying to find out what is important in life. Look, there are stories in the other Upanishads. In the Prashna-Upanishad, there is a story. Many of our own senses, like our eyes, ears, and mind, they were all trying to compete, it seems. Like a picture, it's just a graphic story, an allegorical story is there in that Prashna-Upanishad. What it says is, they said, I am the best. Look, without eyesight, people cannot do anything. And the ears said, oh, I am the best. Without hearing, you will know nothing. So our own senses, the senses were fighting with each other. The mind said, okay, I control everything. I am the boss. And there is the prana said, the prana is the life force. Prana said, well, I am the best. And you don't even know that. Then prana said, I'm not going to argue with you. I will leave. So the prana left. That means the life force left. The other senses were not able to operate. So once the life force goes, the eyes don't operate. The person cannot hear. The person cannot see or do any activity. So the life force becomes very important for human beings and all living beings in a way. So in the ancient Ṛṣis, they were trying to find out what is the most important thing, where from everything came. So their focus on prana or the breath was very important. So he said, okay, if I understand what this prana or the life force is, I will be able to win over everything. So who is the boss? Let me try to befriend and know the boss. That is the kind of attitude and ideology they had. So once they found out the prana in the prior in the karma portions, that is the Brahmana portions of this before this Upanishad, there are lots of parts the topics explained there. There, because they found out the prana is the most important thing, there are upāsanā. Upāsanā are types of meditation on the prana, because people thought that if I befriend this prana, if I get the blessings of this prana force, then I can, I will know the solutions for all my problems. Karmanga sama vishayani. So the thing is, there are also laudatory verses, hymns which praise the great prana, or there are actually hymns which the sama portions of the Vedas are kind of musical. They have music in it. They should be said in a very musical set of tones, and those music is for the glorification of this central force of prana. Anantaram cha gayatra sama vishayam darshanam vamshantam uktam. After that, there is a famous hymn known as the Gayatra Sama. That information and everything else, vamshantam uktam. I don't know exactly what this darshanam means. Darshana here means, let me check what it is. It is just information. So coming back here, Gayatra Sama Vishayam Darshanam Vamshantam Uktam. That means after that portion of the Upāsanā and karma and Sama Vishayas, this Gayatra Sama was said, and also details of Gayatri Upāsanā, which is very fundamental. In fact, this Gayatri mantra is given to a person who is from the child stage to the youth stage. If he goes, people in some of the families, they are given this Gayatri mantra to the person, and that person is supposed to do Upāsanā on the Gayatri mantra and go further. And also, as a respect to the families of these acharyas, these great Ṛṣis, the Ṛṣis came from different families, and the one information was given to somebody else, and that disciple gave it to somebody else. There is a disciplic sequence. This is very important to remember who is the people who gave us. So the people who do meditation remember the Ṛṣis and the lineage of Ṛṣis as respect, and as well as to get blessings from those Ṛṣis for us to understand subtle things in life. So I've finished the first section. Any questions in this section? I will stop after 2 or 3 sections to ask questions, to make sure that you are with me and you're not going to slip off or something. Okay. Just tell me if you have any questions so far.
Is this the Sanskrit written in Kannada Lipi?
Yes. This one, what I'm reading here, is Sanskrit written in the Kannada Lipi. These ones here are actual Kannada language explanations.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Any other question? So far, okay. All right. The next second section of the commentary of Śaṅkarācārya here. I'm reading the Śaṅkarācārya commentary here. Sarvametat, these are all introductions given by Śaṅkarācārya, introductory material given by Śaṅkarācārya, before even the first mantra of Kena-Upaniṣad is talked about. So he wants to make sure all of us understand what is the topic, what is the context of the topic. Sarvametat yathoktam karma cha jnanam cha samyak anushtitam nishkamasya mumukshoho sattvashuddhyartam bhavati. So the thing is, this karma and jnana, here the jnana does not mean the final jnana of the Advaitis. The final jnana is the actual Para-Brahman himself. For example, in Advaita, what happens is the term jnana is used for the highest, that is the very form of Paramatma, very form of Atman, very form of Nirguna Brahma. Nirguna Brahma is the highest according to Advaita, that is attributeless Brahman. So sometimes or many times in Advaita tradition, they use this word jnana to represent that. Śaṅkarācārya says that is not the topic here. This jnana is upasanatmika jnana. meditational knowledge, knowledge used for meditation. So karma and jnana here means here jnana should be taken as upāsanā or just meditation. Karma means activities prescribed in the Shastras. So sarvam etad yatha uktam, whatever was said here, activities and upāsana or meditations, cha samyak anushtitam, if they are done well, nishkamasya mumukshoho sattva-shuddhyartam bhavati, even for a person or a person who doesn't even want anything in life, that is, he does not have any desire whatsoever, and he is a mumukshu, he wants to get rid of the cycle of births and deaths, he wants to get out of this mess of rebirth and again rebirth and continuously experiencing pleasure and pain. This person is fed up of this cycle of births and deaths, and that person does not have any desires, nishkama. For that person, if such activities and meditations are done, his mind will become pure. Sattva-shuddhyartam bhavati. So his mind will become pure. So that is the value he gets. He doesn't look for any other value. And by doing all these things, he will get that value. On the other hand, in the next sentence, sakamasya tu jnana rahitasya. Sakamasya means that a person has got desires. Now, what can desires give? The desires can give something right here. In the olden days, what do you call, people were trying to make sure that when they become very old and decrepit, diseased or something, they need children to help them out. So there were no old age homes at that time or something. So the thing is, so they said, okay, here for me to cross this life, I need children. That's one way to look at it. So that's one of the desires. That is known as Pitṛ-yāna. Pitṛ-yāna means desire for children. Viśiṣṭādvaita means desire for wealth. Lokeshana means desire for fame. So these three desires are famous desires said in the Upanishads. So the desires can be any of these three. It could be more. It could be a desire to achieve something after death. Some people want to achieve Swargaloka or the Loka or the lands or the realms of Indra, which is supposed to be in roughly, they say the word heaven does not mean exactly what it's Indraloka. So I don't want to use the word heaven, but in English, people just use the word heaven there, right? So some other higher worlds, right? After death, somebody can go there. Is there a way to get there? Can I do something while living to do that? That is explained in the Karma Kanda. So that is for those who have desires, they can do such works to get to Indraloka or something. And they can also go to Pitṛ-loka, the land of the forefathers or people who have dead in the family. They go to a particular land called Pitṛ-loka. For that, there are some Agnikarya, fire sacrifices are explained in the earlier portions of the Vedas. They can also get that. One may ask, why would I go to Pitṛ-loka? Well, you might want to avoid becoming an insect or a worm or a dog in the next life. So some of these are helpful to get away and graduate from the lower kinds of life. And what is the lower kinds of life? The lower kinds of life are known as Kshudra Yoni, according to Śaṅkarācārya, lower births, the births of animals and worms and things like that. People who are completely driven by only desires can go down in the hierarchy from a human life to lower births after death. So there are three paths said in here. What the first path is? The higher path, that is the Deva-yāna. Deva-yāna means the path of the gods. Go to the lands of the gods or the realms of the gods. That is the Deva-yāna marga. That is also known as the Archiradi marga. Archi they say. Okay, please, I'm giving you a lot of terminology here. It is overwhelming. But unfortunately, when we study Sanskrit texts, it will happen that way. Slowly, you will understand that these terms mean the same thing. So there are three paths. The first one is known as Deva-yāna marga, Ṛṣis, Archiradi marga. That's also known as the Uttarayana marga. In the Bhagavad Gita, in the 8th chapter, you will find details about the Uttarayana marga and Dakshinayana marga. Dakshinayana is the south direction, going south, going north. So the Dakshinayana marga also, it's for the lower, it's lower category. Śaṅkarācārya mentions a third category known as Kshudra Jantu Bhavana. Kshudra are lower animal life. So if people die, they can go into any of these three paths. The higher paths to the god, the location of the gods, the world of the gods, or the world of the Pitrus or the forefathers, that is the Pitr marga, Deva-yāna marga, Pitr marga, and the lower level, what do you call, life of worms and things like that, or animals or whatever it is, with lesser capabilities. Here, Śaṅkarācārya says, Sakamasya tu jnana rahitasya kevalani shrautani smartani cha karmani dakshina marga pratipattaye punaravartayate cha bhavanti. So, person with desires who does not have the knowledge or the knowledge of the gods, knowledge of the Upāsanā, kevalani shrautani. There are some types of karmas or activities known as shrauta karma, and some types of activities known as smarta karmas, and other karmas are prescribed, srautani, smartani cha karmani. There is only these two. Shrauta and smarta karmas are prescribed for the Dakshina marga, or this south path, the second one which we talked about. This path involves that the people after dying, they go somewhere and come back to another life, another form of life. There, the another form life is usually in a slightly higher level, like a human form or something. Chabhavanti. Or it could involve any kind of form. But here it is only mentioned as you come back, you're still rotating in the cycle of birth and death. But this is for the people who have desires and who don't have the right knowledge. Swabhavika, swabhavikyatva shastriyaya pravritya pashvadi stavarantaha adhogatihi syate. Those who naturally follow their urges, natural instincts, and do whatever they want. They'll be hedonistic, and they're not following any shastra. They don't follow any scripture. They like it something, they want to go get it. They only are greedy, cruel, sense-driven people. Such people will eventually end up in the lower lives, like the life of the lower bodies, like the body of cows or animals and different types of animals or worms or whatever. This is known as adhogati. Adhogati is gone. It is like lower forms. It is looked down upon in the Shastras. So, for people who have desires, will go through the lower two paths, that is the Dakshina marga and the path of the animals and worms. Atha etayoho pathor nakatarena chana tani mani kshudrani ashudranya asakradavartini bhutani bhavanti jayasva mriyasva etat tritiyam sthanam. So the thing is, I will not explain this sentence in detail because it comes in Chandogya-Upanishad. And in Chandogya-Upanishad, lot more details are there. The whole context goes into huge explanations of how these three paths occur. That is not in the topic here. So we will not go further. All it says is in the sentence, there is a reference to the third category, that is the category of lower forms of life. That is in the Chandogya 5.10.8. You can refer to it if you want details. Prajaha tisro atyaya biyuhu. In the Aitareya Upanishad, also the prajas are the people who are born. They go through three paths. So the three paths are explained in the Shastras in other as other texts. So the summary of what is said here in this whole chapter, whole section is the path of the karma. You can do karma and jnana without any desires. And if you do without desires, you can be prepared for moksha, release from the cycle of births and deaths, and you will get purity of your mind to go to that path. But if you have desires, you will end up in any of the two lower paths. One makes you come back again. The other makes you just go on, leaving one body of insect, you will go to a worm body or something. So it's just rotation right here. So this is the summary of information given in this text of Śaṅkara Bhāṣya, this portion. Any doubts so far?
Swami, who does the karma in as per Advaita view? Like for them, is it the Jīvātman that is being described here?
See, take it from a simple perspective. The question is, who does the karmas? Who does activity? Human beings do karma. Anybody who thinks that he is the agent, anybody who thinks that he is bound, anybody who thinks that he needs something, he has desires, such a person does karma. So take it in that way. So does Jīvātma, who is Jīvātma, what exactly is that is not necessary right now. There is Jīvātma. Even Advaita accepts a Jīvātma. There is an entity which leaves one body and goes to another body. But these Jīvātmas are only references. It is known as Antahkarana Avachinna Chaitanyam. Let me explain to you what Jīvātma is according to Advaita. It is a consciousness restricted by the Antahkarana. Antahkarana is our inner organ. Inner organ is mind, senses, and ahankara and so on, the inner organs, which we don't see. The inner organs restrict or are adjuncts which are connected to Atman. So they get the consciousness by the reflection of one consciousness. One Atma is reflected onto our inner organs, and that becomes the Jīvātma. That is known as the Jīvātma. And that is assumed to go from one body to the other. So there is no problem. Advaita has its definition of Jīvātma, and they also believe that a person goes to a different life again, life after life again, born in the body of a female, in the body of a mother, kind of thing, right? That's acceptable to Advaita.
I have a question, Krishnaji.
Yes.
Yeah, in the first sentence, I was just reminded of the Ishavasya Upanishad, this thing where karma and jnana samyak anushtitam, it refers to in the Ishavasya Upanishad as amritam bhavati, avidyaya mrityam tirtva vidyaya amritam ashnute. Here he is saying samyak anushtitam sattva shuddhyartham bhavati. Is he referring to some other Upanishad here or some other Shastra? Thank you.
No, they are all similar, right? See, but you need to understand Ishavasya Upanishad has two different contexts for Śaṅkarācārya. There, the word karma and he has a different interpretation of karma jnana there. Don't confuse that here.
Okay. No, I was just asking whether the Amrtatvam referred to in Ishavasya could be taken as Sattva Shuddhartham Bhavati here.
No.
Is not. Okay.
No. There the Amrtatva is not the final goal. It is just a just intermediary goal somewhere. And that is not because whatever you're talking is going to be addressed in the next few portions of Śaṅkara Bhāṣya. He's talking, he will talk about the karma jnana samuchayavada. That means can karma and jnana, can activities and knowledge be mixed or not? That he's going to talk. Say exactly like how in the Ishavasya Upanishad there was a lot of talk about karma and jnana there. Right?
Thank you.
Here he will make it very clear. Good that you brought the topic of Ishavasya Upanishad, but I have to give everybody this introduction. I did not start with the Ishavasya Upanishad. Ishavasya is the first Upanishad to be started. But because I had done it in the in the Hindu University of America twice for 2 quarters. I didn't want to again do it because I am selfish. I want to learn more Upanishads. While I am learning new things, I want to share. So because I had learned some portions of the Ishavasya, I want to learn more and I want to share. I will come back to Ishavasya Upanishad after the first batch of students have forgotten them and they need a recharge. After 7 or 8 Upanishads, I will come back to Ishavasya Upanishad. Okay? Any other question? So for good?
But new students want to learn Ishavasya. We have not learned.
Unfortunately, we'll have to wait for at least 2 or 3 Upanishads. Let us finish Isha. Let us finish Kena-Kata. Kena-Kata, maybe Mundaka. Then I will again do Ishavasya.
We'll wait.
2, 3 Upanishads. Truly speaking, you are right. We always have to start with Ishavasya Upanishad because our great acharyas have enumerated Upanishad in this way. They say Isha, Kena, Kata, Munda, Mandukya, Tittiri, Aitareya, Chandogya, Aitareya, and something I'm missing.
Chandogyam Braharanyakam Tatha.
Chandogya, Braharanyakam, last 2. Aitareya, yes. After that I missed something.
Taitiriya Upanishad.
Taitiriya, Aitareya.
ನಡುವಿல ಪ್ರಶ್ನ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ சொல்லல.
Yes.
Prashna solale, Prashna solale.
Somewhere
you refer to that verse. It is a standard verse. Yes. So my grandfather who taught me when I was 19 years old, he used to say the development of the subjects starts in a particular way in the Upanishad, and it follows Isha, Kena, Kata, Mundaka. That is the way the development of subject is there. But for the purposes of class, I changed it. I just said, okay, I want to learn the rest of the Upanishads. I am on a goal. You got to understand that I am getting very old now, right? I don't have so much of life. So I have to focus on what I want and only can share what I understand.
But we are older than you.
Don't worry. Atma is eternal.
That's an excuse.
Yeah. So why don't we do one thing? Today, I don't want to start the next section because if I start the next section, we will not be able to finish it. See, if next section is here. Vishuddha Sattvasyatu, Nishkamasyaiva Bhāṣya Danityat. This information is very important and that opens up a huge discussion. For now, today, I will make it as a shorter class. If you have any other question today, you can ask. Otherwise, I will watch for the messages on the Upanishad study group channel. We will be updating information. Any other questions? I wish some volunteers come up and help us out a little bit because I
want to ask something. I don't know whether it is pertinent or not. But when it is said, karma and jnana, they lead to sattva shuddhi. But one who is mumukshu and nishkama, why does he want to go for karma and jnana when he is already a nishkami and then mumukshu?
Good question. See, what do you call this nishkama is relative. Relative means some people have a lot of desires. Some people have very less desires. So even if the person has very less desires, he is known as nishkama. You are right. If some person is 100% nishkama, 100% without any desires, he is already. That means he has already attained moksha in a way. Or maybe he has prarabdha karmas or some remaining karmas which is making him alive. So it is here nishkama means mostly without desires. If he's completely pure, he doesn't, he's already attained the goal.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Are we meeting every week or twice a week or?
Good question. I just want to put a placeholder. My India Sunday mornings is for the Upanishad class. My my Saturday India mornings, 6:30 a.m. is roughly dedicated to the Bhagavad Gita classes, which are happening for the last 160 weeks or something, or more than that. So we have about 163 lectures uploaded. You're all welcome to join my Bhagavad Gita channel also and look at the past lectures or whatever if you have any doubts. Adi ji here is doing wonderful table of contents has done a good table of contents with a couple of other people. You're welcome to look at the table of contents there. And also I am requesting Adi ji to do table of contents for this class also, that is for Upanishad class also. He will make a summary and just simple table of contents for Upanishad classes. I think he's been very nice. If other people want to help out, please, other volunteers can help out. Tell me.
What about the Nada Yoga class?
Well, I have stopped it for now. Let me think of it. Let me think of if you have time, we will do it. Okay.
Okay.
Very good then. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
We'll stop the class here. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Para-Brahman Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Para-Brahman Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Havadana Para-Brahman Namaha. Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanam.
Namaskar.